Okay, so good afternoon to each and everyone. So our topic for today is about risk assessment. Okay, so what's with this risk assessment? Okay, so they say that risk assessment is considered as the most important input when it comes to risk management decision. Okay, so in this topic, titingnan natin bakit kaya sinabing it is the most important input. Okay, so they say that risk assessment is when you put together risk and risk recognition rather and risk rating. So what do you mean by that? No? Anong ibig mong sabihin by that? Ibig sabihin nito guys is that in risk assessment, we have to recognize that there is a risk. It's impossible for you to have an assessment if you are not going to accept the fact that there is a risk. So dapat tanggapin natin na may risk bago tayo magkaroon ng assessment. And in the assessment, we also give, syempre, rating. So, paano ba natin siya nire-rate? Yan. If you still remember, sabi, for risk to exist, there are two things na dapat mong tingnan. Una, yung kanyang likelihood. Pangalawa, yung kanyang severity o yung degree, no? Kung gaano kabigat, gaano katindi. At saka yung posibilidad na siya ay mangyari. So, ibig sabihin, in your risk assessment, this two is present. Now, since we recognize the risk and we give rating, no, we determine yung significant risk we face as an organization, which can be seen, of course, within the organization, our project, and our strategy. According to British Standard or BS 31100, they define risk assessment as the overall process of three things. Ano-anong mga proseso to? Una, risk identification. So parang pareho kanina, no? Na sinasabi, no? We put together risk recognition. Siyempre, kung may recognition, ibig sabihin, na-identify mo siya. Pangalawa, risk analysis. And yung pangatlo, risk evaluation. So, when there is an analysis and evaluation, ibig sabihin yan, we can give rating. So, almost pareho siya nung unang statement. Because risk management, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, because risk management's input into strategy focuses on improved decision making. That's why, nabanggit ko sa introduction kanina, na it seems like that this is the most, no, one of the most important input in risk management decision. Kasi you have to have an assessment first. We cannot come up with any strategy without an assessment. Di ba? Paano ka gagawa ng strategiya if, di ba, if you don't know kung gaano siya kagrabe or ano yung likelihood na siya ay mangyari. So that's why there is a need for a risk assessment first. Since we can see risk in almost anything based on our previous discussion nga, di ba? We can see it in corporate objective, stakeholders' expectations, core processes, and key dependencies. Okay, sabi nga niya, whichever of these features is selected as the starting point, risk assessment can be undertaken. Kasi nga, present siya sa lahat. Okay? And so this is because the purpose of risk assessment is, again, babalikan natin ulit, identify the significant risk that could impact the selected feature. Therefore, no, therefore, we can say that it is a must. Doing an assessment or risk assessment is a must. And sabi nga, risk assessment is vitally important. And it is not only useful if the conclusions of the assessments are used to form decisions and to identify the appropriate risk responses for the type of risk under consideration. It should be considered as the starting point of the risk management process. So that is how important risk assessment is. Di ba? So in risk assessment, you will know what kind of response is necessary. You will know what are those things that you need to consider. And most importantly, you will have a starting line for your risk management process. And by the way, kung babalikan natin yung risk management process, nandun talaga ang risk assessment. Diba? Risk identification, then risk assessment. Sabi nga kanina, in risk assessment, nandun ang risk identification. So, ano pang dapat nating malaman sa assessment? Pwede nating i-assess. Yan. Pwede ang assessment is based on inherent risk, okay? O based on current level. Assessment of inherent risk is undertaken without taking into account the control that are currently in place. Ibig sabihin, i-assess natin siya barely, na as if wala pa tayong kahit na anong internal control in place. In that way, malalaman natin ang kanyang gravity, ang kanyang severity, at saka yung possibility na siya ay mangyari. Okay? Ngayon, kasi kapag ang tinignan natin is that we are going to evaluate the risk on our current level, ibig sabihin ng current level, meron na tayo, i-consider na natin yung mga internal control in place. Okay? Yung mga policy na kasi tayo So i-consider na natin yon. So makikita nyo yung big difference na na meron kang policy at wala. Kasi kung walang policy, most likely ang kanyang risk ay napakataas. Pero kung meron ng policy in place, ang kanyang risk ay magiging mababa na. So makikita natin yung big difference. Okay? Now, speaking of assessment, ayan, may dalawa kasing basic approach na pwede nating tingnan as far as risk assessment is concerned. Una is the top-down risk assessment. From the term itself, top-down, ibig sabihin top to down. So dito, it's the top management who do the assessment. Kaya nga sabi, the senior management leads the risk assessment process. And then, saka siya ngayon ibababa. Yan. Sabi, top-down approaches analyzes risk by aggregating the impact of internal operational failures, while the bottom-up approach, which is yung kabilang approach, analyzes the risk in an individual process by using a model. So, the top-down approach doesn't differentiate between high frequency or low severity and low frequency with high severity event, while the bottom-up approach does. Kasi bakit? Dito, ang tinitignan lang nila is that there is a risk. Okay? Pero dito sa kabila, by the way, these are the advantages and disadvantages. Okay? Medyo marami to, so kuha lang tayo ng iba. Like for example, number one of the advantages of top-down is likely to result in an enterprise-wide approach. Why? Because the assessment is done by the top management. So ibig sabihin, there will really be an enterprise-wide approach on it. Titignan nila to as a whole, in general. Okay? Hindi ito mag-focus sa isang department lang. No. Pangkalahatan to. Ang disadvantage naman nito is that the senior managers and directors tend to be more focused on risk external to the organization because they have limited awareness of the internal operations. So, hindi nila alam yung nangyayari sa loob. Most likely. Mas aware sila sa nangyayari sa labas. Kumbaga, yung mga risk associated in the actual operations ay hindi sila masyadong pamilyar. Yun. So, yun ang problema. Okay? So, yan naman ang top-down. Ngayon, kung ano man ang magiging preferred ng management or ng organization, syempre, they have to bear with it. Okay? Now, as mentioned, yung pangalawa ay yung bottom-up. So, dito, this kind of assessment exercise tend to focus on risk identified as compliance, hazard, control, and opportunity. So, dito guys, from the bottom, pataas. The main constraint in undertaking a bottom-up exercise is the greater time commitment that is required. Why? Kasi nga, operational siya. So, mas matagal. Magre-require ng mas mahabang oras, isa-isahin. Kaya lang, ang maganda doon is that, since sinimulan natin siya sa baba, nakita natin yung entire operation, mas okay siya. Kung isipin. Yun nga lang, mas matagal. Bakit? Imagine, may binanggit dito na 4 na area. Compliance. Oh, are we in compliance? Yung bang quality is in compliance? Ang daming factor sa quality. Hazard. Are we considering yung mga health hazard, occupational hazards, mga ganon-ganon? Oh, so yan ang bottom up. Kumbaga, mas detalyado kasi ang focus nito ay internal. Okay? So ito naman ang kanyang advantages and disadvantages. So, halimbawa, advantage, significant buy-in at all levels of the organization should be achieved. Ang disadvantage naman, there will be little focus on external risk. Kasi nga, nakapokusan tayo inside. And besides, merong mga may mga systems na pwede nating bilhin para ma-improve natin to. Yun. So, kumbaga, may mga ready protocols na pwedeng i-adopt para magamit siya kaagad. Pero syempre, pinag-aralan niya sitwasyon ha. Pwede tayo mag-commission para gumawa ng mga safety protocols, mga ganon-ganon. Okay? Ngayon, sabi, isa pang advantage, can be mirrored to an existing organization chart and risk impact beyond immediate operational risk can be discussed. It can be mirrored. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng i-replicate. Yan. So, another disadvantage is that, as mentioned kanina, it is time-consuming. Yan. So, yan yung top-down at saka yung bottom-up. Okay? Now, in doing the assessment, ito naman yung mga technique na pwede natin gamitin. Una, questionnaires and checklists. Medyo common ito na gamitin. Yung questionnaires and checklists. Okay? So, ano ba yung questionnaires and checklists? Questionnaire is a structured questionnaires and checklists to collect information that will assist with the recognitions of the significant risk. Normally, check lang talaga. Do you experience ganito? Do you encounter ganito? Yan. Workshops and brainstorming, collections and sharings of ideas at workshops to discuss the events that could impact the objectives, core processes or key dependencies, inspections and audits, ito maganda, physical audits, physical inspections and premise. Okay? So, kung sa machine yan, bibisitahin talaga. I-inspect talaga. Kung mga documents yan, ganun din. May mga audits naman tayo. Okay? Flowcharts and dependency analysis. Ginagamit ito to assess yung process. Okay? Baka kasi may mga duplication. Baka mayroong mga areas sa process na pwedeng palitan. Pwedeng palitan para maging mas mabilis or totally pwedeng alisin. Okay? So technically, this will improve the process, the operation. Okay? So kaya kailangan natin to. Ngayon, ang maganda doon is that in the risk assessment, under flowcharts and dependencies analysis, makikita din natin yung mga bottleneck sa mga processes. Bottleneck, ibig sabihin yung mga problema na nagpapatagal. Diba sa bottleneck, naiipon, yun. So kaya gano'n, ibig sabihin may portion na nagpapabagal. Ayan. Okay? So, doble. Yan. So, ito naman yung description lang niya. So, in case they would like to have a full details about the technique, ito yon. Okay? Nature of the risk matrix. So, ano yung risk matrix? So, let me show an example first. Okay? So, ito yung example ng risk matrix. Pwede kayong gumawa ng sarili nyo nito. Okay? Pwede rin kayong mag-adapt, tapos lalagyan na lang natin ng description. Okay? So, ano ba kasi ito? So, when a risk has been recognized as significant, the organization needs to rate it so that the priority significant risk can be identified. Ibig sabihin na-discover mo yung risk. So, ano ang rating niya? Siya ba ay level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4? Yun. Now, kung level 1, may description yun. Kung level 2, may description, and so on and so forth. Okay? So, kaya nga may assessment eh. Kaya nga may assessment para maibigay natin yung tamang rating. Hindi pwedeng manghula lang tayo. Okay? Considerations of the scope for further cost-effective improvement is an additional consideration that assists the clear identifications of the priority significant risks. An organization will need to establish the measures of risk likelihood and risk impact. Kasi yung dalawang yun ang element na included sa risk. Okay? So, ano ba yan? Yan. According to likelihood, ito yung pwede natin gamitin. Example lang to ha, pwedeng gayahin, pwedeng hindi. Unlikely, possible, likely, almost certain. So ito yung kanyang description. Kung sinabing unlikely, can reasonably be expected to occur, but has only occurred 2 or 3 times over 10 years. So madalang. Possible, yan. Likely occurs occurred more than 7 times over 10. So medyo kumbaga sa hindi madalang, kumbaga malimit talaga siya na nangyayari. So yung almost certain, yung halos sigurado tayo na mangyayari. Yan. So this one is as to likelihood pa lang. Okay? So kung meron tayong likelihood, meron tayong description for likelihood, meron din tayo dapat for severity. So the severity or yung impact ay small, moderate, severe, catastrophic. Natural, pag catastrophic, ibang usapan na to. Parang marami ang mamatay dito. Parang sort of gano'n. Okay? So kapag nangyari itong risk na to, maraming mapapahamak pag catastrophic. Okay? Paano yung mga small? Yung mga mahina lang. Okay? So tulad nga ng example na to. Tulad nito, catastrophic o fatal, di ba? Minor, ano lang kailanganin? First aid lang. O superficial, no treatment required kasi nga mahina lang. So, ito naman yung kanyang likelihood. Yun. So, tingnan nyo ha. Kung siya ay very unlikely to happen at siya ay may minor na severity, ang description lang sa kanya under risk assessment matrix ay very low lang. So, very low na mangyari, tapos pagka nangyari ay mahina pa. Ngayon, habang tumataas yung likelihood na siya ay mangyari, katulad nitong likely to happen, kung ito ay minor, i-consider na natin to as moderate risk. Okay? So, ang napansin mo, habang tumataas yung severity, yung description niya ay tumataas din. So, kung major, ito na ay high. And so on. Siyempre, ang pinakahuli ay yung critical. So, yan ang matrix. Now, isa pang pwedeng makaapekto sa paggawa ng matrix is itong perception. Bakit? Kasi kailangan we must have a common perception of the risk. Sir, anong ibig mong sabihin? If you think na ito ay risky, pero ang level ay 1, baka sa akin, ang perception ko naman, ito ay risky pero level 3. So magkaiba na kagad yun. Pero we're talking about the same risk. Yun. Kaya tamo, ano sabi niya sa number 1? When undertaking risk assessment exercise, it is often the case that different attendees at the workshop will have different views of the risk, which is very true. Very true. Magkakaiba talaga tayo ng assessment. Parang ano lang yan eh. Mainit ba? Parang hindi naman. Ayan. Malakas ba? Parang hindi naman. So, iba-iba. Okay? Okay. So, hopefully, nagkakaintindihan tayo by that. So, in risk perception, sabi, the following are considered to increase concern among public relation to a specific risk to health. Yan. So, example lang naman yan ng risk perception. So, the point here is that in risk assessment, nabubuo ang ating risk perception. So, kung we are going to have a common perception of the risk, di sana we can do the necessary things or adjustments. No? Kasi alam natin kung anong klase siya. At saka, pare-pareho tayo ng alam, pare-pareho tayo ng description. Kasi nagkakagulo lang kapag iba-iba yung tingin natin. Maaring sa akin, risky na, sa'yo hindi pa. Yun. So, kailangan pareho. Okay? So, benefits to this approach are better risk communication, fuller risk understanding, and the identifications of appropriate and practical action control. Yan, practical control measures. So, kailangan talaga meron tayo nito mga to. So, ibig sabihin lang yan guys is that dapat talaga we should have a common perception. Yan. So, common perception of the risk. And that will be all. Thank you very much and have a great day. So this is again Sir Domsky Domingo. You can follow me on my YouTube channel, Sir Domsky TV, at saka sa aking Facebook naman, Domsky Domingo. Please subscribe, follow, and hit the notification bell. Okay? Just. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.